5 or 6 years ago, I was working in an office and there was a bit of a joke among my colleagues that I might actually be a robot. This was because I never spoke about like a social life or relationships. As it happened, I was actually in a relationship and did have a busy social life. I just didn't talk about it. It sounds really silly now looking back, but I didn't tell people about these things because I was scared. I was scared to tell them that, while to them I was just some guy from the office. Outside of work, I went out a lot, had a boyfriend, and I was a girl. I had a happy childhood. Wasn't really bullied as such, especially not about my gender or anything. I went to an all-boys school. I guess I was more feminine than some of the other people in my class. I think I realised quite late on that I was actually transgender, mainly because I didn't really have a concept of what transgender was. I knew that I felt more comfortable dressing as a girl and thinking of myself as a girl, but I had not a lot of concept that that was actually a thing. It wasn't until I was in my mid-20s that I saw a TV show which was all about transgender people going through their transitions. My feelings when I realised were mixed. I was quite keen to do something about it. I kind of ended up with this weird double life of being a boy sometimes and a girl sometimes. But when I was dressed, even if it was just privately, I felt a lot more comfortable. I really liked just kind of being me. I was nervous to tell people because I was embarrassed. I think people have this idea of what being transgender means, and it's not necessarily the same as how I see it. That stereotypical thing of plonking around in really big high heels with a bad wig and bad makeup, which definitely wasn't the case for me. I was quite careful when I was telling people I was transgender. I really wanted to control who knew. I told my mum fairly early on. To be honest, I think she was a bit worried about me. She knew that I was quite depressed, so one time at Christmas she asked me if I was okay, and I kind of felt I needed to explain that actually I was happy, and I kind of felt that I was a girl. When I came out to all my work colleagues and there was going to be a Christmas party and I said maybe I could come as a girl, I was obviously really, really scared, but everyone accepted me and I'd really enjoyed the night. That sort of gave me the drive to go further. I guess I'm lucky that there's a big transgender community in Leeds. The people in that were really helpful. There's some social nights out and things that I went on, and for a time that was the only time I got to be Jen, and the rest of the time I was being a bit of a miserable boy. I also saw my GP because I knew that there was a gender identity clinic in Leeds. The waiting list for the gender clinic was 21 months. When you're at that early stage in your transition and you are looking for someone to help you, to be told, yes, we can help you, but you might have to wait a few years, that is quite distressing. I started medically transitioning when I was 25. I actually started self-medicating hormones, partly because I'd been too scared to see the doctor at this point. I'm at the stage now where the gender clinic prescribe hormones. I've also had some surgeries to make me happier with my body. So I had a tracheal shave, which is where they shave down your Adam's apple, and I've had a breast augmentation surgery. I'm currently talking to the gender identity clinic about lower surgery. I think it's really good in recent years that being transgender has had a lot more sort of positive media portrayal. It would have been useful to me to know more about transgender and transgender issues when I was younger, because I still suffered from the preconceptions and stereotypes in my own mind. The overall journey of transitioning has been very, very up and down. There are some amazing highs when you achieve something that you couldn't believe you'd ever do, but there have also been some massive lows where things do seem so scary. I really don't want to be defined by the fact that I'm transgender. I'm Jen. I'm a kind of normal 30-year-old and I happen to be transgender.